I Googled how to get rich, and it gave me 4 options: be born rich, steal, marry rich, or earn it. And I realized that I am broke. I look like a tax deduction, and I'm too scared of prison to steal. So the first 3 are off the table. That leaves the last option, earning it. But not the way you think, because getting rich has nothing to do with 12-hour workdays, or even an MBA. It's about something that school never teaches: leverage. Today, I'm breaking down how 20 people, from tech founders to TikTok dancers, use leverage to go from average to absurdly rich, and how you can copy their playbook even if you start from zero. So let's start with a classic brain teaser. Imagine there is a giant rock in front of you. You need to move it. So what do? Option A, call Popeye. Option B, cry. Option C, use your brain. Hopefully you went with C, because if you have passed middle school science, then you know the answer is use a lever. Put a long stick on a tiny rock, press down on one end, and boom, your weak noodle arms just moved a boulder. But here's the twist. The longer the stick, the less effort it takes. That means if you have a very big stick, then you can just push it from your little finger and move the rock. Archimedes once said, "Give me a place to stand and a lever long enough, and I will move the earth." Cool quote. But seriously, Archimedes, why the earth? Was ancient Greece that boring? Or was he just flexing on philosophers? Good thing Elon Musk wasn't around. Otherwise, we'd have a 12-part Twitter poll deciding the budget for a Mars-to-Earth lever prototype. But here's the thing. Archimedes wasn't just talking about rocks. That lever idea is actually the foundation of how wealth gets built. Think of wealth as a formula. Wealth equals volume times leverage times X factor. We'll get to volume and that mysterious X factor later. For now, let's dive deep into the real game changer: leverage. So, what is leverage? Leverage is doing more with less effort. This is how rich people pull in billions with the effort of a casual email. Think of it like this. Input is small and the output is massive. That's asymmetric return. And it's basically a cheat code for capitalism. If you want to build wealth, you would want to have the maximum leverage as possible. So, what type of leverages are available in our world? So there are 4 types, and 3 of them don't require you to be born as the prince. Hire people. Let them do the work. You take the credit and the profits. Classic capitalism. Companies don't make billions because the CEO works 20 hours a day. They make billions because thousands of people work for them. You exchange time for money. They exchange your time for more money. That's leverage. But it's not perfect. Managing people is hard. It's expensive, and scaling it takes time, unless you're Ray Kroc, who basically franchised the whole planet. So I'll give you examples of real people who used labor as leverage. Sam Walton, founder of Walmart; Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks; Fred Smith, founder of FedEx; Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's; Travis Kalanick, founder of Uber. Use money to make more money. If you got spare cash lying around, congrats. You can invest it in businesses, stocks, real estate, or crypto meme coins if you are brave or maybe dumb. No money, no problem. Just use OPM, other people's money. This is trickier because why would anyone give you their money? Answer is trust. And yes, trust is a form of leverage. This is how banks, hedge funds, and billionaire investors operate. They don't sell time, they sell money. They turn capital into more capital. So I'll give you some examples of real people who use capital as leverage. You know the names: Warren Buffett, the man behind Berkshire Hathaway; Ken Griffin, who runs Citadel; Jim Simons, the math genius who built Renaissance Technologies; Ray Dalio, founder of the giant hedge fund Bridgewater Associates; and George Soros, the man who literally broke the Bank of England with capital alone. These aren't just rich people. They're proof of what happens when leverage, strategy, and timing come together. Media and code are the ones where you can basically start from zero. If you have the right skills and ideas, then you can become billionaire. You can see that most of the billionaires today used code as a leverage. You write code once to make the software, but it can be used in billions of devices without much cost of replication. This is literally magic. These are some names you might have heard: Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Jensen Huang, Sam Altman. They all used leverage to go from billionaires to multi-billionaires. And in today's world, I think this is the ultimate form of leverage: code. The only catch? Coding isn't exactly plug and play. It takes real skills, and those skills are harder to learn than, say, picking a stock or flipping a house. So, want to know an easier form of leverage that's just as powerful as code? It's media leverage. Think about it. Movie stars, singers, YouTubers, famous authors, they all use media to become rich. Take Mr. Beast, for example. He's now a billionaire, actually the 8th youngest billionaire in the world. How did he do it? By making videos. Sure, those videos take time and effort to create, but once they're out there, millions of people can watch them at no extra cost. That's leverage. Doing the work once, but getting paid over and over again. Now, let's go back to our wealth equation. Wealth equals volume times leverage times X factor. We've talked about leverage, but what about volume? Volume is simply how many times you use your leverage. You can have the best tool in the world, but if you never use it, you're just a broke guy holding a gold-plated wrench. Take Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. He technically worked 8 times, but that turned into around $100 million in net worth. Meanwhile, the studio still makes money every single year from reruns, merch, and spin-offs. That's leverage plus volume in action. And with the new Harry Potter series coming, the cast probably won't need to worry much about money after it ends either. So here's the point. If your leverage is massive, you don't need huge volume. But for most of us starting small, the way to win is by using our levers more often. Now comes the X factor, the multiplier that makes everything else explode. To win big, you usually need one of 3 things: be first, be better, or be different. Let's start with being first. Being first gives you a massive head start. At the beginning, there's demand but no supply. So if you're the first one to show up with a solution, congrats, you are the supply. And if people actually want what you're offering, boom, you win by default. But here's the catch. Being first isn't always a strategy. A lot of times it's just luck and timing. Take Mark Zuckerberg. He didn't invent social networking, but he was the first to make one that actually worked. One that didn't crash every 2 minutes or look like a high school science project. That's early mover advantage. Now imagine launching a perfect clone of Instagram today. Same features, same vibe. Would it blow up? Nope. It would disappear into the app graveyard because the demand is already being met. So yes, being first is powerful, but only when the need is real and the timing is right. That brings us to number 2, be better. Here's a question. What's the difference between a 7 out of 10 YouTube video and a 9 out of 10 YouTube video? In terms of effort, maybe it's 10 times more work, but in terms of views, it could be 100 times more. That's why better is also a form of leverage. Currently, in the world of AI, you see companies like OpenAI with ChatGPT. They weren't the very first, but they were the first to make an AI that truly blew people's minds. So what should Google, Meta, or other AI companies do? Just give up because they weren't first? Of course not. They can still win by building something better. That's leverage too. And finally, number 3, be different. If you're not first, and you're not the absolute best, there's still one powerful X factor left: stand out. When you do something no one else is doing, or even present the same idea in a fresh way, you instantly grab attention. And in today's content-overloaded world, attention is everything. Take me, for example. I'm not the first finance YouTuber. I'm definitely not the best. But what I am trying to do is bring you financial knowledge in a way that doesn't feel like a boring lecture, with memes, storytelling, and fast pacing. Basically, the stuff that won't put you to sleep. Is it working? Honestly, maybe. But here's the thing. The market decides. You can believe your idea is brilliant, but until it's out there, it's just theory. So if you're watching this, I have a small ask. Tell me how I'm doing. Drop a comment, roast me if you want. Just let me know. Because the only way I get better is by listening to you. Now you know the formula. You've got the tools, the mindset, the equation. But what if I told you there's a cheat code inside the cheat code? It's called leverage stacking. Most ultra-wealthy people don't rely on just one type of leverage. They layer them, like a billionaire lasagna. Take Elon Musk. He started with code, co-founding Zip2 and PayPal, which made him a multimillionaire. Then, he used that capital to build new companies. Those companies needed people, so enter labor leverage. Armies of smart engineers at SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink, all executing his vision. And then, he bought Twitter, because apparently starting companies wasn't enough. Now he's stacking on media leverage, tweets, memes, chaos, amplifying everything else. And that's why Elon Musk isn't just rich. He's obnoxiously, intergalactically rich. So yeah, you can make millions with a single kind of leverage. But if you want to make hundreds of billions, you stack them. Leverage is power. Stacked leverage is a superpower. And if you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of people. Here's the truth. Most people will ignore this framework, but it works. It's not theory from a self-help book. It's a cheat code. The only price you have to pay? time. And more importantly, focus. Let me be brutally honest. If you can't sit alone in a room, stay off your phone, and focus on one thing for a few hours a day, don't expect to get rich. Not because you're dumb, not because you're unlucky, but because you're distracted. Distraction is the enemy of leverage. It's why most people jump from project to project, idea to idea, without ever getting good at anything. The truth is, you don't need to do more. You need to do less, but with more focus for a longer period of time. And if you apply that focus to a high leverage activity that matches your X factor, it's basically inevitable. You'll become rich. Might take 2 years, 5 years, even 10. But the outcome is guaranteed as long as you don't quit. I am your host, Mr. X Banker. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.